Okay, hello. So, welcome back, everyone. This thing is gonna be a different video today. Yeah. So, if you've been following the channel for these last few days, I've been posting some RC car videos, which some of you might have liked, some of you might have not watched. I sure most of you have not watched, because looking from the views, I think it's like 1 or 2 views, which is probably just me watching them. Okay, so let's cut to this. Yeah. So I bought this because of the situation now. Yeah, it's COVID, and I was bored as heck. So I went on the online marketplace on YouTube, and I don't know, I was like bored of like tiny whoops and stuff like that. I was thinking about MJX bugs, but MJX bugs were quite a bit bigger than these guys. Yeah, I mean quite a bit bigger than whoops, and honestly I wasn't in the mood of breaking props, breaking frames, crashing into people's houses and stuff like that. So, and also I had the VTX, which is this Ishin TX06. Yeah, I got this thing quite cheap last time. I mean, quite a long time ago. Yeah, and I think the sensor had funky or something like that. Yeah, because it has these like odd circles on the bottom of the screen, which I do not like. But at least this thing's working, and I'm okay to use it. So I thought, like, why not make something FPV which can like chase cats around? Because recently I've got a lot of cats in the neighborhood. Yeah, and I think um when I bought this thing, I was thinking like, what if I could like chase cats around? So I found a quite cheap new car. As you know, I probably usually buy RC things new. This thing is no exception. So in this box you get quite a lot of stuff. Actually, not quite a lot of stuff. I mean quite a little bit of stuff. So you get the car itself, which I have done some mods to. This is not particularly stock, yeah. And then you get. Let me go focus on it. Let's see. Is it in focus? Okay. Then you get the charger, which I honestly do not like, but there you go. It's like USB charger for 2S battery right there, yeah. Charger's actually quite fast, this guy, 2000 milliamp. Then you have this manual, which is not very useful. And this tie wrench, which is, I'm not sure what size. Oh shit, I dropped. Ah, dang it. Let me go see. Seems like a 5mm and some 7mm, I think, I assume, yeah. So this is not gonna work on this guy though. Nor is it gonna work on this guy. Well, actually it works. What the fuck. Okay. So wait, I think I just bought something from the used one. Yeah, it works on these guys. Okay, so that's bad. So let's see. So oh shit, I bought something wrong, man. Dang it. So okay. So let me go tell you the background of this guy. So you get these things in the box, and you also get a remote control. Which, where the heck's the remote control? Yeah, let me go find it for a while. Okay, so I found the remote control. This is the remote control you get. This thing takes 4 AA batteries. Honestly, I'd like some like 1S battery or something like that, yeah. But I'm using these GP eco power batteries and stuff like that, yeah. So they do work, and I have no complaints on these batteries. These things should be dead. I mean, I put them in some bin because I thought they were dead long time ago, but suddenly they actually sprung to life, which is quite odd, and also quite a good thing, I think, because who doesn't want their stuff to work, yeah. Then let me go tell you something stupid, yeah. So I thought I couldn't open the shock towers, but then it turns out I can. So that means I can actually use one of these mounts. Let me go show you the mount I'm talking about, yeah. So let me go find the mount for a while, yeah. There you go. So when I first bought this, I also printed this thing, which is an action cam mount, which mounts on this thing, but it doesn't fit because it's supposed to be for an LC racing one. And you have to cut the bottom bit. And then I thought, like, why the heck would you wanna, I mean, how the heck would you mount this thing on here, because you don't have any wrench to turn on these bolts. But turns out this thing actually works, and I've also ordered some of these hex wrenches for overpriced, and from an overpriced dealer, which means that I've lost quite a lot of money, and that's quite dumb. I bought 2 of them, so that's quite shit. So yeah, that is it. And as for the FPV bit, yeah, so for FPV one long range, this thing is quite a new model, I think, because you have this new, I mean, the old model had like shit range, which is like a few meters and stuff like that. This thing actually has quite a lot of range, even stock. This thing, I mean, this thing I brought it to like, I don't know, 80 meters probably, yeah, 80 meters. This thing is still going strong. And now with this antenna mod, I can actually go more than 100 meters, but 100 meters with this 25mm VTX is quite pushing it, because obviously you have like shit vision, and at 100 meters if you actually get blocked by anything, you lose video, and the controller actually also loses signal. So you actually want to drive it line of sight if you want to go over 100 meters away. Then let's go on with what else? Oh yeah, inside. So let me go put this stuff away. Oh yeah, the charger. Yes. The charger is pretty cheap actually, to be honest. It looks pretty cheap, but actually is better than my IMAX P6AC, which I have outside, I think, yeah. Because of something else I'm gonna show you soon. So put the charger away, put this mount away. I'm gonna put this thing on later, yeah, because fuck this mount, man. I thought this thing couldn't work because I had no wrench. I thought like my wrench is from on the way from China, and it's gonna take like 2 weeks again to find a good mount. Then you have this manual. Then you have the FPV bit. So let me go talk about this, yeah. After this, put this wrench also away. Let me go pop the top, and you might have seen some modification. I drilled a hole in here with some skewer, more like some flat head which stripped, and I made into like a pointy head which I just drilled down, and here you have a nice antenna hole for extra range. Then you have these body clips. These body clips actually are good enough, they haven't rusted, because I brought this thing into water also and it hasn't rusted or anything like that. Let's pull the shell off. They also come with this like film on the outside of the shell, which is quite good, I'd say. And the tail also, I mean the wing also. As for this bit, you might see it has a quite big motor right here. This thing's like the same size motor as you'd find in some car tire pumps, which is quite good thing, I think. Being that these things are quite strong and quite torquey, and you can like actually feel how heavy it is to like start pushing it. And let's see, this tape is sort of falling off for some reason. Let me go pull the tape off because it's not very useful. Let's just pull this guy off. Shit. One. Fuck. How is this tape so stuck on here? Let's push this thing down. So I'm gonna tell you why I put some tape over here later, yeah, but there is some tape over here I'm gonna take this thing off. So please bear with me. I think you can pull it by hand. There you go. That's some tape off. So as for this, you can see this thing has quite soft tires, which are air filled, I mean breathable, yeah. So you can actually hear air coming in and out from these rims. I would prefer air holeless rims, so you can actually run them on higher pressure essentially. I mean run them on like water, mud and stuff like that without having them like deflate that much, especially when you're jumping, because when you're jumping these things will absorb some impact, but I would like 1.9 wheels without breather holes, or at least smaller ones, because these things depress quite fast. See? And also the original like factory, what's called this thing? Tire glue is not very good. So if you wanna look into here, yeah, let's see if we can actually see it. Let's pop the screen out. Okay. Let me go find a tire with some separation on the side. I assume it's not on this side, but let's see. Oh, there you go, see? Okay. So, as you can see over here, yeah? Let me go show you if I can. Focus close. This is what you call tire separation, which is not a good thing, because that means that you have to re-glue the bit onto the rim on this RC car. I do not have any CA glue left, which means that I'm not going to glue it yet. and that means that I'm gonna be essentially risking my car having a flat. A flat on an RC car means that like you have the tire off the rim, and your car like goes flat essentially. It's like stuff like that, yeah. So it comes out of the beat and stuff like that, which is not a very good thing. But I'm okay with this for this at least at this point, yeah, because I'm not really doing anything crazy with this car. Although it probably seems like I am because of how broken the car is already, yeah. This is after like less than 1 week of ownership. It's like 5 days or something like that. I've already greased the diffs, and it's quite all honestly, yeah, because if you look at, let me go prop this guy up, yeah. Look at the front diff, it's quite viscous, like an LSD. I mean, it's not LSD, but it is quite viscous, it stops quite quickly, yeah. And the back is like so smooth like this for some reason, although these things have like the same amount of grease in them. I assume the rear has more torque put onto it, so it essentially just throws the grease out immediately after I put the grease in. And these things are not sealed, so they do seep out if you put too much grease in them. Yeah. To grease these guys, it's quite easy actually. So people say when you buy these things, grease them first, and I'd say yes, cause if you don't grease them yourself with any good grease, the original grease is like Vaseline. So if you know what Vaseline is, it's like some moisturizer for your feet or for your hands. I use it on my feet. Girls use them for, girls use it for like everything, cause girls like their hands and stuff like that to be smooth. I don't give a shit about my hands. My hands are quite rough. You can actually see my mouse is like eroded by my fingers, which is not something you see every day. Yeah? And so now these greases, these things are all greased and they're fine, okay to use. As for these guys, I'd probably be happy with some boot, yeah, like those CV joint boots, because if you see the drive shaft, yeah, it's actually exposed, and having any sand, any grit in the drive shaft will actually make the thing erode itself by like always going in and out like this, and soon you're gonna have to buy new dog bones if they erode the dog bones first, or buy new buy new like axles, the inside bit over here, the what you call this thing, the diff, buy new diff, either buy new diff or buy new dog bones, and that's all not a very good thing, yeah, I'd say, because then you're gonna waste money. And for tires, because they're pretty soft, I do think that they're gonna wear out pretty fast. I've put probably like 10 packs in this guy, and I've not broken these tires because of the fact that I'm actually going slow. Not like other people where they're like crazy as heck. I go pretty conservatively with these guys. So I actually use Fpv though. So running on Fpv, I actually do take care. I do not smash into things, and still I have smashed into something. So if you can see this slash over here, yeah? This thing is not cracked, but it's like a slash or like a press point, because this thing fell into some drain cover which was not fully in, so the drain cover was like doing this and just slammed into that thing for some reason, and it had this like slash, but nothing else broke, nothing at all. Even the tires, they're okay. The bead's still okay on the front. The back bead is pretty bad because I assume the torque all goes in the back when you're actually pulling it and stuff like that, especially having this huge motor, yeah. Then this has no problem, nothing has cracked on the plastic. The bottom, let me go show you the bottom, yeah. This, I've put some, what sound is this? What's the AC? Okay. So on this bottom, I've actually put some plastic like stubs over here and this long bit over here. Even with this, you still have some scratches over here and here from stuff like going on rocks and stuff like that, yeah. Under this plate, under this plastic, you actually have a lot of scratches because of the first and second day I've bought this thing. I ran it for a while and this thing was full of scratches. Even without running anything on it, the back will sag, see? It'll sag to the back, see? Hits the back. The front has no issue, even at like stock heights, but this back is like already maxed out, and it still hits the back first before the front because of how rear heavy this guy is. And if you're running FPV, especially if you're running Ycam or something like that, yeah, Ycams are quite light, GoPros are a bit heavier. If you run a GoPro on this thing, I recommend you put it on the front or in the middle or something like that, yeah? Not on the back. Because my mount was like this, yeah, essentially. So, because I thought I could mount the 3D printed one, which is this guy, I put this thing on, which then put the cam somewhere over here, yeah. And the Fpv camera I put over here. It's like this. And it has this like sticky pad which is gonna stick it in. And I also put a tape over here, yeah, so it doesn't like pop out. Everything works well, but the thing is, without the spoiler, the car actually likes to, like, I don't know, spit still out for some reason. So you might think that on a car this small, a spoiler this small, it's not gonna do anything, but it does do a lot. I've been taking this off and putting this on its own is gonna like make this thing super tail heavy, and I mean super tail happy. And just by gunning the throttle, you can just like spin it non-stop. Whereas with the tail on, you can't even do that. So that's pretty cool, I'd say. The tail is quite useful. I never thought I would say that, but I am. And as for the Fpv setup, yeah, so I put this thing over here, put this camera in here, and I have this battery, which is essentially some random cylinder battery, which I found in my parts bin. Then I could just put this battery inside this bit over here, in front of the battery. Then you have this going backwards, yeah, this, what you call this thing, GST plug. Camera's up here, cables go down here, and they plug in from here, see? So it's pretty neat, nothing goes in the motor, nothing goes in the wheels and stuff like that. People say the shaft is not very long, but I find it adequate. And if you don't have one of these cars, I'd say you wanna make sure you actually have a nice solution for the battery, because if your battery goes in a drive shaft and essentially gets eroded into pieces, you might have a fire, which is not good. So I put this plastic bit right here into this bit, so it actually stops the battery from hitting the drive shaft. On the first and second run, when I did not have this plastic bit, this thing I'd like have to super tighten this thing onto this here. And on the chassis, if you actually look into here, you can actually see some like protrusion. Let me go show you. For a screw, which is over here, see? Now that will bang into your battery and make it some like dented battery, which is not a good thing. You might also make a fire with that in it. So what I did was I just put that plastic bit over there, and now all you need to do, put battery in, just push this thing in here like this, and tighten it, but not very tight. As long as it can't like jump over this lip, you're pretty much okay. See, do this and do this. You don't have to do anything super tight, and it'll be fine. So next, what else will I call? What the fuck? What else will I talk about? Let me go drink for a while. My mouth's like dry as fuck. I've just been talking about the Leica, what you want to say? The Nikon PC. Then also been talking about the what you want to say? The contact channel adapters, and also the fucking hell, what the heck did I talk about? The ring flares. Okay, so you might also recognize this if you've been a long time subscriber to the channel. This I used for my primary standard, and I actually got like 2.8 kms with this guy. This thing's a 5.8 gigahertz, essentially windsurf I made at home long time ago when I was still a kid, yeah, essentially 2016, 17, 18, somewhere around there, yeah. And this thing fits perfectly on the ROTG, which I bought for this car. And this also fits perfectly on the Manfrotto tripod I'm actually using up here, yeah, to film today. And so I put this thing over inside the like tripod mount, essentially, yeah. And then I plug this in my phone and essentially use it as like some kind of like a ground station. This Fpv setup, yeah. And you can actually get over 150 meters from that guy. I know because I've tried, and it's pretty good being a ground station for not very expensive. As for the controller, I'd say it's pretty cheap looking, cheap feeling, and the trims are actually pretty much okay. Nothing's wrong with the trims. The steering wheel's pretty disgusting, I'd say, because Generally my fingers are quite clean, but I would like a plastic wheel more than one of these foam wheels. These foam wheels are just disgusting, man. They actually like collect dust, and I'm quite clean with my stuff. As you can see, this thing's quite clean, but I can assume that these things are gonna get quite dirty as time goes on. And this kind of foam is quite cheap, I think, yeah. So it feels like it's gonna crumble at any moment. As for the power switch, I do not have any problems with it. The steering trim on this thing is not very good. So you can like adjust it quite finely actually, yeah, like by twisting it. But this thing veers to the right by the slightest bit right now, yeah. And if I twist it to the left, this steering trim, yeah, by the slightest bit, it will adjust it a little bit left. But that little bit left, it's gonna make it veer to the left, which is not a very good thing, I assume, yeah. I think it might also be the tire wobble, because I've not done anything to it, but I honestly think that if you do stuff with the tire wobble, the bearings will wear out sooner, because you actually have to put shims and stuff like that, yeah. And putting shims, I think, will mean that you actually pull on the bearing like this, yeah, which is not a very good thing. And I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the car. It goes quite fast, quite a lot faster than any cat you can find. So if you wanna chase cats around, you can actually do that quite well with this car. So yeah, hopefully you like the video. I'm gonna post some more videos I think about this. So yeah, also about batteries, yeah. I actually thought it's a good idea to actually use 18650 batteries on this guy. And it nearly burnt down. So let me go show you what I did to it, yeah. Let me go take my bag of parts. Okay, so I actually bought this stuff to actually make an 18650 battery work, because I have actually hundreds of them at home. But then this happened. So if you can see this slot over here, this slot like here, this spring is pushed out and melted, and this body housing thing is also melted. Why is this happened? It's because I actually ran like two batteries essentially, yeah, two 18650s, and somehow they sort of like caught fire and stuff like that, and this happened. So yeah, do not run 18650s on this thing unless you actually have like solder pack or something like that, yeah. Or like at least better cells, because I think my cells are quite old, like 2016 maybe those cells, yeah. So I do not recommend running old 18650 cells. So yeah, pretty much it for the car, yeah. Oh fuck, no, go in. So thank you for watching, hopefully you like it, and what the heck, if you want more mods, stuff like that, I'm actually gonna soon make beadlocks. I think when these wheels and tires run out, I'm gonna make some beadlock rims from 3D printed ABS. But let's see later, yeah, because it's gonna be for a later video. I do not see these tires dying anytime soon, and I do not hope they die anytime soon, because I do not want to spend a lot of money on this thing. It's just a hobby, and not something I do for work. So yeah, thank you and goodbye. Have a nice day.